go on to Congressman Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me ask Tatyan Homich about the prisoners that she mentioned. One, I guess, was her sister, and the other, a former candidate. What is their current state that you are aware of during their imprisonment in the penal colony? How are they being treated? Do you ever hear from them? Do they are allowed to communicate to the outside world?
So my sister Maria Kolesnikova is not in the colony yet because there is an appeal to Supreme Court, so the final sentence will be known a little bit later. So she stays in Minsk, in the capital, in a pre-detention center still. But though she stands there for already a year, I can describe it, of course. So there is no possibility to use a phone, for example. There is no possibility to use internet or emails. Our father, who is in Minsk, he tried to meet her the whole year, and he was allowed to do it only 1 hour after the year. So he met her first time last week, and he hasn't seen her for a year already. The situation with letters is really bad because sometimes political prisoners, as well as my sister Maria, they do not receive letters at all, written letters, I mean. For example, for months or 2 months, yes. And when they receive them, actually it's it takes several weeks for a letter to reach out a prisoner sometimes. But despite the fact that they are in the same town, yes, so 2 weeks to deliver a letter. Regarding the Viktor Babarika, for example, the same situation is with Maxim Znak. He's also he was sentenced, but he will be moved to colony after the final consideration of Supreme Court about the decision. Viktor Babarika was sentenced in July, and now he's in penal colony. And there is possibility they should work there. So this is 6 day work, yes. Where they spend all the day at some simple, some handcraft work. So they can receive letters. Maybe the situation there is better. They're allowed to meet relatives several times a year. It can be even for several days, or there can be some small meetings for several hours. So actually, these cases they really describe the situation with all other political prisoners. So it's not only about Maria, Viktor Babarika, Maxim Znak, but for everyone actually. So this is how it goes. They do not see relatives. They do not get any information from them. If they have television, they have only state channels there. They cannot read independent media. It's great if they will have possibility to meet with relatives sometimes, yes, once in several months, or have just even state journal there to read, because there is no information at all.
Was your sister, who I might have seen in the media, making a heart with her hands when she was being before the cameras? I think that might have been her symbol.
Yeah.
That was her?
Yeah, this was my sister.
Yeah, I admired her. I thought that was very courageous, and it was a sign of hope. I don't know if there is hope, but she was showing that she's putting herself above the fray, and she's a warrior, and she's obviously a prisoner of conscience. It was very impressive. The Supreme Court's no hope, I'm sure. And when they go to the penal colony, if I remember correctly, they were sentenced to hard labor at the penal colony, which is like a double whammy, not good at all. Do you know what the current state is of the man that was taken off the airplane and his girlfriend? Maybe, sir, do you know the situation? You're the journalist, I think.
Yes, sir. His name is Roman Protasevich, and there's a pretty manipulative operation conducted towards him and with the use of these gentlemen, whom I know personally. He is being used to create an image of a person who is enjoying his life in a closed area, which is not prison still, but he is being used by the state security to promote his good condition, to represent his life as something that is not really a human under repressions, but someone who is limited in capacity to exercise his freedoms. However, lives in a regular private building with state security officers. The reason for that is that the case of Roman Protasevich and the case of the hijacked plane indeed raised the bar, and the knowledge of the situation in Belarus, and it was actually one of the first situations when the external world was indeed hit by the actions of Alexander Lukashenko. And by that I mean the aircraft security and the security of air transportation globally, since the impact was indeed global. So he's been removed from the detention center. He's provided with internet access. However, the general public understands that the idyllic image of his life and the life of his girlfriend is just a KGB operation and nothing less than this.
And he gave a statement that looked like it wasn't necessarily sincere, and that was a ticket to his better treatment. Is that not true?
Our expert position, and by us I mean iSense, is that when he was given an interview to state television, and when he was given statements on that matter in National Press Service, it was indeed the use of the hostage. These were the hostage interviews, and that person who indeed had no control over the situation and who was the hostage of the armed people who had full control of his activity and who were in charge of his decisions, cannot really be treated as a free person, and whatever is being told by him should be treated as something that has been told by the hostage. And with this, I think the practices of the state of Israel or the United States towards the prisoners of war and towards their own prisoners of war who were hostages in conflicts overseas should be taken into consideration when evaluating the statements of Mr. Protasevich and people like him who indeed do not have any control over what they are doing and who are in real danger.
Thank you. Now yield back.
Congressman Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.